This is why I created the organic hygiene product using sphagnum moss. These pads using the moss as the absorbent material instead of the existing synthetic solutions. And now, a little bit about the sphagnum moss.
It's one of my favorite plants of all, sphagnum moss, okay? Now, this filters water really well. It's also a great dressing for wounds. Back in the war, we're running out of bandages so much because of all the injured people and stuff that decided to pack the wound or cover the wound with some of the sphagnum moss just because they were running out of stuff. And they found that the wounds that were covered with sphagnum moss healed quicker than those wounds that were covered with normal bandaging. So that's cool stuff. Look at the water just drip out of this when I squeeze it. Isn't that neat? Another cool thing about this plant is I find it to be cooling. I've had a rat one year, just for the heck of it. I was sitting around in a swamp, I found a lot of this stuff, and I just had this urge to try it. That was before I knew anything about this plant. And I put it around my nose and held it there for a while because it was so cooling, and it got rid of my rash. And it felt really good. I've done that with sunburn. I've done it with other different skin issues too that I've had over the years. This stuff is wonderful. Sphagnum moss, beautiful plant.
Here are some examples of how they use it in the past. These sanitary napkins are the reason that I started this research. They are from the 1990s and they use sphagnum moss, but I believe they can use a little bit more design and fit for the woman body. At first, I start building simple molds so I can start press my moss with other materials. I use different amounts of glycerin, agar and water and mix it all together with the moss. I use tea bags as the material that can cover the moss and still let the water go through. The usual amount of blood loss per period is 10 to 35 milliliter. Each soaked normal-sized tampon or pad holds a teaspoon, like 5 milliliter of blood. In my research, I tested my pads with 20 milliliter of water. At first, I tried the 5 mm pad. You can see that the water didn't go through the other side or didn't leak into the plate. And then I tried the 3 mm pad. You can see that the water did go through the other side, but also didn't wet the platform. So after that I tried the 3 mm pad with waterproof fabric, and then you can see that the water didn't leak through the pad. And my last try was with the 1 mm pad, which is really thin and flexible, and I think it will be best for using. But in this example the water did leak through the pad, but I believe I can find a solution to make it more resistance for the liquid. I would like to create a mold in the shape of the pad that allows me to press the moss and other materials like fabrics into one pad. And I would like to find the right materials that will make my product look more attractive. So in this project, I offer a new organic solution that reduce the plastic use and take care of our body and our surroundings.